Plenty! Hey! Hey, over here! Yo, check me out, bro! I'm on a boat, baby! Woo! Hey, get a job, loser! Get off my boat! Woo! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! You don't get me wet, stupid bitch! Get out of my way! Get a job, loser! Hey, up yours, buddy! Hey! I boned your mom! Hey, don't forget to smack that like and subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and drop a comment down below to share with your friends and feed the algorithm. And don't forget to give me a honk for freedom, baby. And welcome aboard the RSS commentary. I am your host, the Captain Kale McCullough. And in today's top story from the Gateway Pundit, a little bit late because we're having some technical difficulties. This show was supposed to be on the 4th of July, but fireworks shows were canceled by China Joe Biden because he's incredibly anti-American. He hates white people. He hates white males. He is a diversity, equity, and inclusion proponent. He's one of those guys who supported segregation, like the war on drugs, you know, like when they locked all people up, including me, for possession of drugs, and then they caused country to fall into a shithole because now we got a bunch of violent gangbangers running around banging cartel dope. Now we got all these people taking shits on the sidewalk, banging dope along the downtown on the side of the street in tents. It's like Tent City. It's almost like the cartel took over or something. But they rescheduled some of these shows. And from our next story from Breitbart News, imported energy crisis sees wood-burning stoves. Dry firewood has been selling out in Germany. They tried to go green, but all it did was make them go Putin up the butt. And from the, again, vasectomies reportedly soar after Roe was overturned as far left seeks male sterilization in fight for women's rights. You heard that right. The feminist males want that pussy so bad, they're willing to snip the dudes off. And from the Gateway Pundit, Biden blocks offshore oil drilling because he hates America, limiting oil production after begging oil companies to produce more and attacking gas stations. And from Newsweek, Japan boosts surveillance as advanced Chinese destroyer circles islands. And from Breitbart News, the Scottish government workers told biological sex is a falsehood invented to reinforce white supremacy. And from Breitbart, Texas Democrat Sheriff Colin, law enforcement leaders see, quote, complete absence from Washington on border. Because, you know, Joe McCoo Biden is totally all there. And from Breitbart, Russian forces press Kiev's last stronghold, Luhansk, in the Luhansk province. And from Breitbart News, illegal boat crossings have hit a record monthly total for the year. So if you like this content, don't forget to smash the like button, ring the bell for notifications of breaking news. After you subscribe, drop that comment below so that you can share with your friends and feed the algorithm to get onto this news. All right, what do we got? Here from Newsweek, Ukraine accuses Russia of striking Snake Island with phosphorus bombs. If you remember these guys, they were the people who told the Russian warship to go F themselves. There's rumors going around that was fake news because they thought they got killed. And that wasn't really the case. They were taken as prisoners of war. And then people said it's fake news, and they tried to cite it as an example of fake news. And, you know, maybe in some sort of way, I can see that, right? But the problem with that entire argument is that really it's just kind of a bunch of BS. Because, I mean, really, does it really make it fake news that that some media outlets thought they got killed, but they were taken prisoners? You know, that wasn't really like the point of the article. The point of the article was that the Russian warship was coming, and they're like, we're going to kill you if you don't surrender. And they said, you can go after yourself. And then some other people made up some stuff. And, you know, there's always fake news around most of these stories. Whenever you get, whenever you have the fog of war, you don't know exactly what is going to happen. And it's kind of excusable if you got something a little bit wrong like that, because it really just is like forgivable in the middle of the fog of war that you would not get something right? Apologize about my graphics. So I'm going to call the people calling this fake news, I'm going to call that fake news. I'm going to give it the golden stamp of no, sorry, wrong button. Oops. What was it? Was it fake news, baby? Oops. What do we got? What do we got here? Oh my God! That is the major biggest.
You are fake news. Go ahead.
Woo! Fake news, baby! You're fake news! All right. What do we got to do? What do we got to do? Hey, don't forget to smash the like button down below, ring the bell for notifications after you subscribe, and drop a comment down below. And I will switch the story to the next story. All right. Sorry about that. I'm having some problems with the graphics. What is the next story? Let's see. I don't think I'm supposed to cover the ones in the... Sorry, in the one thing. What do you call it? Windows Lab. Sorry. Keep on top of it. Biden's approval rating. Apologize. I forgot I was supposed to sort these. And then just trying to find the next article here. We'll take this. All right, and then what am I going to do next? Oops. All right. Sorry about the errors there. It's very complicated. This show has like hundreds of scenes and you have to get everything right and then it just doesn't work a lot of times. From the Gateway Pundit, vasectomies reportedly soar after Roe overturned as far-left lunatics seek male sterilization and fight for quote-unquote women's rights because, you know, the left has such low birth rate already that you need to have a campaign to make the birth rate even lower. I found a chart recently that confirmed my chart that I made where I overlaid the map of the birth rates in the country with Democrat and Republican voters, and I was able to identify that the liberals had low birth rate from overlaying the map of voters. I can show it to you real quick. Just give me a moment here to get my stuff up. Here are the birth rate charts. Where are they at? Oops. Okay. Well, I got the wrong desktop in here. Let me add the, gotta set the desktop. Sorry about that. Wrong desktop. All right, so here is a map that I found of birth rates by county. And so you can see the blue bars here are voters for Hillary Clinton in 2016. And I got that from this chart. Shows you a height map of where the Democrats live and where the Republicans live. And you can see in these blue bars, most of the Democrats live in the big cities. So you could take this map of the birth rates by county and overlay them, and then you can take out the blue bars, put back the red, and then you can see that the places where there's no red almost all have low birth rate. Like, look around the East Coast, right? And then I found this chart recently, which, well, here, let me, before I move on to the next chart, let me show you where I live. here in Eugene, Oregon, we could see that basically we're a bunch of cucks around here and we can't please women. We're like infertile, sterile right here. You can see it just sticks out on a map of the birth rates. And then wherever there's more Republicans at, you'll find more higher birth rate. But then I found another chart which just confirms the thing when I looked up birth rates of atheists. Because I just thought it was just the Christians. I didn't really think. I thought it was that the white people had low birth rate. But it's not actually true. White people don't have low birth rate. Actually, atheists and agnostics have low birth rates. You can see it down here at the bottom. You got agnostics got 1.3 births per woman. The atheists have 1.6 births per woman. Mainline Protestants 1.9. Jews are 2.0, Catholics 2.3, Evangelicals 2.3, or sorry, yeah, that was right, 2.3. And the black Protestants are 2.5, and Mormons are topping a chart with the most alpha male status of the bunch, with a whopping 3.4 births per woman, which is approximately the same birth rate as the baby boomers. So it's not in particularly high. That's just the normal birth rate for the United States throughout its history has been about the same rate as the Mormons. But it's very clear that there's something going on with the liberals. They have a mental illness epidemic going on in their ranks. I myself used to be a brainwashed liberal with Trump derangement syndrome. So I'm actually speaking from experience when I tell you that these people are crazy lunatics and that they have some psychotic issues, because I've seen these people. I helped start the Portland anti-Trump protest outside of my dorm in Portland State University with 30 college students. I thought Trump was a Russian asset and that there was like some emergency going on. So we got all those people out in the streets, and then the Black Lives Matter people came and took over, the Don't Shoot Portland people, with that dude who was like, I think he was like molesting teens, and he like kidnapped a teen, which I don't know, might have been like not as bad as it sounded. It sounded like it was pretty bad what he did. But then he was like the main speaker guy. He was like Greg Melvin or something. And so I hung out with him and I watched him all night. And I watched the black guys that come in, that they got these like gay Black Lives Matter people who are like really flamboyant, and they like, it's like you like mixed all the different crazy people up. You got the Antifa, you got the crazy college students, you got the Black Lives Matter people, you got the homosexual black people, you got the lesbian white women, and then you mix them up and it's just this big pocket full of cray, bro. It's like you dumped out a whole semi truck full of crack in the middle of LA and you gave them a mic. That's basically what happened. Maybe that's a little bit of an over-exaggeration, but it is like you took a boatload full of cray in a blender and you threw a bunch of shit at the blender and it just sprays everywhere. Just bam, just shit, cray going everywhere. And these people, they got low birth rate because they got a bunch of beta males, because you got all these feminist males that are saying, as you wish, baby, anything you want, I'll do anything. You got these big, bad, misogynistic, patriarch, white supremacist males that put the glass ceiling over the woman's head. They're locking them up. They raping them. They making them have babies. They making them do the dishes, vacuum, and do the laundry. They won't let them vote. They won't let them go to school. They won't let them have a job. All they do is give them dick and make them have babies. Because they're a bunch of sexist, misogynist, racist, white supremacists, alt-right, neo-Nazi, white nationalist. They racist. So what these dudes do is they like, yo, I am going to prove to you that I am the white knight, baby. I am the one who is going to prove to you I'm the one that you should mate with by cutting off my testicles so I cannot impregnate you. And you're like, what the fuck kind of crack are you on, bruh? You need to share with me. If you got some shit that's that good that you snipping your testes so that you can hook up with some feminist chick, I want what you're on, bro. But it's just par for the course. This is natural selection at its finest. Taking out your political enemies without you even having to lift a finger. All you had to do was type something on the internet to trigger them. And they just start self-destructing, turning into a bunch of mentally ill lunatics, getting all woke, blaming everybody for racism and sexism. Next thing you know, they're like blocked out most of their friends, and they're left with a small group of people. And then the woke mob comes after them. And the snake starts eating its own tail. So you just kind of got to let them do what they're going to do. I know they're a pain in the ass. They're totally stupid. They're really annoying. They're hella beta. They're hella beta. But they're not really a threat because they're just going to huff and puff. Try to run around like the alpha male, and that all the feminist women should go hook up with them and have their babies after they cut their testicles up. So they just gonna breed themselves into extinction. They're just a pain in the ass right now. But if you know that you're just living in clown world and that I am a red pill guy in a clown world. You can touch my hair, touch me everywhere, but then I'm gonna you. And this is what you gotta do. You just have to laugh at them because you do have to admit it's pretty pathetic that they're trying to impress women by cutting their testes off. Because, it's like me as a guy who's trying to impregnate their girlfriend. I'm sitting here looking like, but brah, you mean you're just cutting your own testicles off? I don't got to do shit. All I gotta do is sit here and trigger your ass on the internet so you say a bunch of fucking crazy lunatic shit. Next thing you know, you got 50 genders and you cut your testicles off. Like, damn, it feels good to be a Republican. Woo! That's the red, white, and blue, baby. Hey, if you like this content, don't forget, smack that like button, hit the like button, and ring that bell, baby, so you get notified of the breaking news. Because, you don't want to miss any of my commentary. Drop that comment, share it with your friends. Tell your mom the sex was good. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to laugh at my own jokes. In our next article from the Gateway Pundit, China Joe Biden blocks offshore oil drilling, limiting U.S. oil production after begging oil companies to produce more oil, attacking gas stations, and then at the end, the guy has the gall to sell oil from our strategic oil reserve to a Chinese company that is linked to Hunter Biden. I mean, come on, how much more corrupt can you get here, man? I mean, for real, bro. I mean, the only way that you could actually get more corrupt than this is if you got Xi Jinping popping out at the White House press briefing, and you can actually see the puppet master pulling the strings of Jean-Pierre, and then Joe Biden, he's like got two hands. You got Jean-Pierre over here, and then you got Joe Biden over here, and then you got Xi Jinping, and he looks like fucking Winnie the Pooh, bro. That's the only way you could get this shit to be any more crazy. Biden hates America because he sold us out. He started taking bribes from the Chinese Communist Party through his crackhead son, Hunter Biden, who likes to have sex with underage prostitutes while smoking crack. And next thing you know, they got dirt on him. And then he keeps taking the money. Hunter Biden just peels off 10% for the big guy. Just 10% off each deal. 10 mil here, 10 mil here, 50 mil here. You know, it's like, it's almost like Joe Biden smokes crack with Hunter Biden. I mean, you got to wonder whether or not these people are actually trying to sabotage our country. Because you know, this whole green energy thing is a bunch of bullshit. It is. It's a bunch of bullshit. You can't scale up the amount of green energy that you need to address the exponential growth in the amount of greenhouse gases getting emitted. All of that stuff is happening in China, in India, in Africa, in places where we have no control over. And if we give up our manufacturing ability here in the United States and let China take over, they're going to take over the world. Next thing you know, everybody's going to be a fucking communist. Hold on, I'm going to have to push back. They're not communists. They're actually fascists. They're definitely a top-down controlled society. That is fascism. That is not communism. Communism is bottom-up controlled society. It's a hierarchical thing. Far left, bottom up. Far right, top down. You got a dictator, right? But then they want to scam you into thinking that communism is actually communism. But in reality, it's all fascism. They just tricked you. They tricked you. And what they did was they used a false dichotomy where either side that you picked the dictator. In authoritarian countries, all of the signs point the same direction, and they all go back to exactly where the dictator wants you to go. And if you don't understand this, you're an idiot. You need to understand this because there are really powerful people with a lot of money. They're criminals, they're thugs, they don't like you, they want to get all your money, they would love to lock you up in a gulag. So you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. You gotta stock up on guns and ammunition. You gotta dig in to exactly what they're doing in the public schools, when they're grooming your kids. You gotta dig into what they're doing in the elections. When they say, you just have to trust us. We can't audit the system, but trust us. It's the most safe and secure in history. And then while you're not looking, the left hand picks your pocket. And then you're like, what happened? And you look over at the other hand. You look over, and then next thing you know, the right hand smacks you upside the head. You're like, what the hell was that? And then you look, and there you go. They steal your money again. And why? Because of all these rhinos. That's why. If we didn't have so many goddamn rhinos up in the DC swamp, this shit wouldn't be happening. We got to get rid of all these establishment cronies. We got to purge the FBI, the CDC, the DOJ, and all these other alphabet agencies of all deep state Democrats because they have proven they are criminals. They have a deep state corruption network with the Clinton camp. They did the Russiagate hoax. They allowed Mark Zuckerberg to do the $419.5 million takeover of the county election offices to do ballot harvesting. They allow the social media companies to censor us. They allow corporations to target us, claiming for discrimination in employment based on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the doctrine of diversity. And really, who is pulling the strings behind the scenes? Is it Xi Jinping? Is it Winnie the Pooh? Is it George Soros? No! It's Bozo the goddamn clown! These people are a bunch of idiots! Excuse me. But these people seriously think that you can get rid of oil and switch everybody over to lithium battery-based electric cars. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like electric cars. I like Tesla. I like Elon Musk. I like naked chicks on electric cars, especially in that Tesla truck. In fact, if you know any naked chicks in a Tesla truck, you should drop a comment down below. Tell me how awesome it was and invite me. They don't know anything about green tech. All they know about is taking money in a pocket from corrupt politicians and Chinese Communist Party businesses. They never look into it. They just assume that the white supremacists are the most evil thing in the entire world and that they are the number one threat to America. Don't pay attention to all of the black gangbangers killing each other. Don't pay attention to the 56% of the almost 20,000 murders in the U.S. that are committed by black males and the 90 some odd percent that are victims who are black males. You need to stop focusing on that you cannot afford gas and you need to buy a Tesla, right? Because if you would just buy a Tesla, none of this stuff would be happening. Because you are not buying a Tesla, you are propping up white supremacy through the climate change that is disproportionately affecting BIPOC and non-white communities. Oops, I mean people of color. So, you need to disavow your white privilege. You need to give up having your babies because you're emitting too much CO2. You got to allow the people in Africa, in India, and in China to put out that CO2 and have them babies because you are a white man. There's too many of you. You used to be the white supremacists, so now you got to diversify because all white teams are inferior to diverse teams. All white teams are a threat because they're racist, because they're sexist, because they're homophobic, they're transphobic, they're everything. They're xenophobic. They're the big bad conservative wolf coming to huff and puff and blow us down with all that cheap gas, bruh. We had a leaf blower. We're gonna be coming like gonna be blowing your house down because it's made of a bunch of sticks, bruh. So you should be the little piggy that makes their house out of the bricks And you should suck it up. Take the extra gas price increase and eat it. And buy a Tesla. You freaking commie. Alright, hey, if you like this content, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button down below. Drop a comment to share with your friends and feed the algorithm. And tell your mom that sex was great. She should hit me up again. All right, what scene are we going to switch to? In our next story from the New York Post, Twitter censors Post editorial board member for months. A New York Post editorial board member has been blocked by Twitter for months, and what he says is punishment for the paper's decision to publish Hunter Biden's hard drive. I'm going to have to push back. I also, too, have been banned from Twitter for almost 2 years because they have a fake appeal process. Twitter is run by insane communists in Silicon Valley who are abusing their Section 230 protections in order to target their political enemies, to defame them, and to paint them as white supremacists, alt-right extremists. They're doing this based off of the defamation from Wikipedia, which is a bunch of fake news garbage. And we need to sue Wikipedia because they should not be edit blocking articles that defame people as far right. The people who are being defamed have a right to defend themselves. And what these leftists are doing is they're controlling the public-facing front so it looks like people support them when in reality everybody hates them. And so Twitter's got this appeal process where you can say you disagree with the suspension, and then they'll put you in a queue of people that they're quote unquote getting through, but they get you through you. I was suspended for criticizing Kamala Harris. I said she was a hoe, a hussy, and a home wrecker because she cheated with Democrat kingmaker Willie Brown, former mayor of San Francisco. So when people say she slept her way up to the top, it's true. But they suspended me saying that, what was it, like hate speech or something? I can't remember exactly what they said, just some insane stuff. And I was locked out of my account for over a year, and then eventually I had to get into the account because of some breaking news, and it's like destroying my ability to get my news out. And then this was whenever that guy shot up the Buffalo supermarket, and they were talking about the Great Replacement, and then I inserted in some facts or tweets on Twitter to statistics that prove that the Great Replacement is happening, and then I got jumped on by a bunch of Antifa. They harassed me They bullied me. They threatened violence against me, that they were going to come find me on the street. And then Twitter suspends me. They don't suspend the Antifa guys. They suspend me, saying it was hate speech or hateful conduct. To post facts. To call Antifa stupid. And it's because they rig the public perception. They want you to think what they want you to think. And they are criminals. They defame our people as far right, as extremists, conspiracy theorists, lunatics. And then they prevent us from being able to defend ourselves by banning us, blocking us, shadow banning us. And then they hid this Hunter Biden laptop that was like explosive. I mean, this is like the laptop from hell. This laptop got videos of Hunter Biden smoking crack, talking to the big guy, all kinds of incriminating information about their corruption network with the Chinese Communist Party through the chief spy of China. It detailed the corruption network that the CCP has been building up, where they are paying off people to get to the White House, and they were successful. So, I mean, I hate to sound like the Democrats did when they said Trump was a Russian asset, because I had Trump derangement syndrome because I thought that CNN and MSNBC was real news. Didn't realize that it was the fake news. Oops. Damn. Did it go there? No. Oops. Doesn't work there. Sorry, I have a fake news stamp. It's not working. Apologize about the error there. So yeah, well, I'd say we sue these people. I'm trying to sue them. I need a financial backer because I'm poor and I put all my money into this show. But I sent them lawsuit notices. I'm eligible to sue. I've got claims. I'm currently suspended for that Antifa thing that I was just talking about on Twitter. So we do need to sue them because this stuff's just insane. Can't allow them to do this. But hey, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications of breaking news. Drop that comment, share it on social media, and give your mama a high five. All right, let's find another story. Now, what are we going to do for the next scene? Got anything with China? I need a Pooh Bear. Xi Jinping, you look like just like Winnie the Pooh. What else are you going to do? All right. In our next story from Newsweek, Japan boosts surveillance as advanced Chinese destroy Circus Islands. President China Joe Biden has been working to reorient NATO policies to reflect what he considers a growing threat from China that he helped prop up when his son was taking the multi-million-dollar bribes to buy access to the White House. The 10% for the big guy, right? Joe Biden helped make this mess because Joe Biden is part of a globalist cabal of ultra wealthy people who have bought their way up to the top. They control the Democrats. They control the Republicans. They control the European Union. They are the Economic Forum. They are the Bohemian Grove, the Bilderbergers, and the Chinese Communist Party. Because, you know, when you're a criminal like the Democrats, you end up with the most corrupt swamp monsters that you could possibly pull out, like the chief spy of China that was best friends with Hunter Biden. Now you got the China Joe Biden is selling off our strategic oil reserves to China, to a Chinese Communist Party linked firm that does business with Hunter Biden's firm in China. This is how corrupt the swamp is. This is how deep the swamp is. The swamp is deeper than the moat we are going to build on the southern border, which is going to be 50 feet deep, next to the border wall that is 50 feet tall. This swamp is so deep, it's like the Pacific Ocean, right? You got to get a submarine to go down to the bottom of the swamp. And when you do, what are you going to find? Nancy motherfucking Pelosi. Bro, she's like a fucking dinosaur, bro. She's from the Paleolithic era. You didn't even know. It's like the Little Mermaid under there. I think they're going to take Taiwan. They've been strategizing it the whole time. I believe that the Chinese Communist Party manufactured the China virus using money from Fauci's research grants, and that they released it on purpose in order to bankrupt the world's economy so that they can do their Made in China 2025 program, which they have totally gotten rid of. They're hush-hush. They're still doing it. It's still Made in China 2025. It's 2022, baby. That's 3 years from now. The Chinese Communist Party is going to take over. And when they are, they ain't going to be nice. If you are a foreigner in China, you can't own property. You can't. You can't own a home. You can't have a job that Chinese can't fill other than teaching English, because they are ultra ethno-nationalist fascist over there. They're spitting image of the Nazis back before World War II, back before they turned into psychopathic killers. That's exactly what the Chinese Communist Party looks like. They have the concentration camps. They have the surveillance state. They have the corruption network going all the way up to the White House, to China Joe Biden, the streaking White House groper who likes to sniff women's hair, grope women's breasts. Yes, if you did not know that, Joe Biden is a notorious groper. He's a sexual predator. He took a shower with his daughter, Ashley Biden, according to the diary. Apparently, he has sex with his family, too. I mean, it's not really possible to get any more corrupt. I mean, for real, bro. Like, look at this dude. He's sniffing hair, bro. He's a creeper. If you stuck this dude in a room with Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein is going to look like the ladies' man, and this dude is going to be a creeper. That shows you how creepy hair sniffer, groper, streaker boy here is. And he takes 10% for the big guy. China is just waiting to attack Taiwan. They're waiting for the perfect time when Joe Biden gives them the go-ahead and says, no, we're not going to nuke you if you invade Taiwan. We just got to pretend like we're against you in public when in the background they're doing deals to get 10% for the big guy, smoking crack, banging underage hookers with the rest of the Epstein associates. You know, they probably even going on Lolita Express still, but I don't know about that. If anybody knows what happened to Lolita Express and whether or not Hunter Biden was banging some of the same hookers that were being sex trafficked in the Epstein sex trafficking network, drop a comment down below, as well as whether or not your mom is single. Also, too, drop a comment down below whether or not you think, fuck Xi Jinping, he looks like Winnie the Pooh. If you like this content, don't forget to smash the like button, ring the bell for notifications, and subscribe after you drop a comment down below, whatever you thought, and whether or not your mom is single. I already said some comments on this Gateway Pundit article, so I'm gonna count that one as already done. Yeah, again, I can't turn down the opportunity to criticize this woman. I think this woman is in the globalist satanic pedophile cult there in the Bohemian Grove. From Breitbart News, Liz Cheney, son of the war criminal who took us into war in Iraq and Afghanistan illegally, justifies the war in Ukraine, while Harriet Hagelman says Trump would have prevented it. Embattled Republican Liz Cheney, Republican from Kentucky, who is totally going to lose. And you got to wonder about the people of Kentucky, whether or not they're a bunch of idiots over there. Do they even look at who they're voting for? Are they that stupid? Drop a comment down below. She said on Thursday night that on the debate stage justified the war in Ukraine, while challenger Harriet Hageman said the former President Donald Trump, the king of memes, would have prevented it. I think that he would have prevented it. It looks to me like China Joe Biden's been taking $1 million bribes, multi-million-dollar bribes from the Chinese Communist Party through his crackhead son, Hunter Biden, who has sex with prostitutes, and some of them are underage. Could possibly be linked to Jeffrey Epstein. I think they are involved in this World Economic Forum, globalist coup, Great Reset, and they might just be a complex of mutual interests where it's not a conspiracy, they just have mutual interest, and it just so happens that their interests always align with the Chinese Communist Party. But we busted Hunter Biden with that laptop when he was smoking too much crack and he left it at the computer repair store. Maybe, if he wasn't smoking so much Parmesan cheese off the floor when he's looking for crack rocks, when he's feeding, when he's starting to run out at the end of the night, then maybe he wouldn't have left his laptop at the repair shop, and we would not have found out that he's involved in all these crazy, insane criminal corruption schemes with the Chinese Nazi Party, aka the Chinese quote-unquote Communist Party, that is 100% definitely fascist. There's no way that you can tell me that's not a top-down controlled society. Of course that is a top-down controlled society. That is fascism. Fascism is communism with private property where it's top-down control. Communism is bottom-up control by the community with no private property. But sadly, the public education system does not educate people very well. So Americans are totally fucking stupid and they have no idea what's going on. They don't do any research. Okay, admittedly, part of the reason why they're not doing the research is because they are working for minimum wage jobs and they don't have any time. They're working 2 or 3 jobs. Okay, you're off the hook. Just please don't get upset at people who are paying attention, who know stuff, and then their facts are contrary to yours, because it is really annoying when you are paying attention to the news, you're participating in politics, you're taking steps to actually solve the problem, and then you get these people who don't pay any attention. And then all of a sudden there's an issue that they care about, that they're upset about because they don't understand shit, because they haven't been paying attention. They didn't do any research. And then they come in and just be a total asshole. You know, it's pretty common with these people. You gotta, you know, I know it's difficult to find time to go through and read the articles, do background research. And I understand I'm a computer programmer and I'm in front of the computer all the time and I can do this, right? So it's not really fair for me to criticize other people for being unable to do this, because that is an excusable excuse. It is that the system is messed up and that's not your fault, okay? Not trying to like, you know, hate on you or anything. That's not really your fault. You didn't do it. But there's a lot of just stupid going on. And a lot of it is a cacophony of different stupids where everybody doesn't understand things. They don't understand definitions. So they can't tell the difference in between things. And then they interject, and then they're extremely rude, and they open up their mouth and they say a bunch of stupid stuff, but people don't know the difference. They don't know the difference, so they say a bunch of stupid stuff and they cause a bunch of problems. And so if you are that kind of person, you know, much love to you. But don't vote. Don't participate in politics unless there's just one issue, and then just vote for that one thing that you know about, and don't vote for anybody else, because you're going to end up voting for people like Liz Cheney, who's the daughter of a war criminal, the guy who did the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Right, he's a war criminal. He's part of some Ivy League cabal of like Yale people like Skull and Bones who have been rigging the politics to make sure their people always win. And then they paint everybody else who calls them out as like conspiracy theorist lunatics. And then they're taking us to war on false pretenses like they did in Vietnam, And they also did in the Iraq wars. Sorry, it looks like my cameras have gone. Let me fix the camera real quick. You know, it is difficult to manage all the time, but the thing is you got to get rid of your loser drug addict friends. The reason why you're not doing so well is because your friends are losers. If your friends weren't a bunch of losers, then you wouldn't be doing so bad. I know, they're cool. My friends are cool too. I love them. But they're a bunch of drug addict losers. A bunch of Antifa F-words and white feminists. They're a bunch of communist lunatics. They're drug addicts. They got mental illnesses. They're lunatics. Loony bin. But people aren't able to recognize they've been controlled by charlatans for way too long. They don't pay attention to politics. They don't talk about news. Instead, what are they doing? They're up out the waterfall with the phone ringing, and they don't even care. So, do us all a favor. If you actually vote for Liz Cheney, don't get yourself sterilized like these other leftist lunatics who snipping their testes off to impress all the women to fight for women's rights because you're not fit for evolution. I mean, this woman Liz Cheney, she's a lunatic. Her father's a war criminal. I mean, you can't get any more corrupt than this bitch. I personally think we need to lock them all up. And this is why you should vote for me, Kale McCullough, for president in 2024. Because if you do, we are going to build the moat 50 feet deep next to the wall that we built 50 feet tall. And we're going to build amusement parks next to the moat with roller coasters themed after the deadly animals. And we're going to have a prison there. And we're going to lock the Democrats up. So you will be able to ride roller coasters, see deadly animals in a moat, lions, tigers, and bears, wolves, hippos, on deadly animal themed roller coasters. And we're going to have a prison there where we lock the deep state Democrats up. We're going to lock Liz Cheney up. We're going to lock Dick Cheney up. We're going to lock George Bush up. We're going to lock Hillary Clinton up. We got to lock Nancy Pelosi up. We got to lock Joe Biden up. We got to lock Kamala up with Hunter Biden. Woo! We're going to give them a bunch of crack. Next thing you know, Kamala's going to be a hooker banging Hunter Biden smoking crack. Also, two, we're going to declare a cartel invasion. We're going to send the military to California and the southern border to deport all the illegal immigrants. And we're going to make sure the federal government is not abusing your rights, using the preponderance of the evidence. We are going to force the federal government to utilize clear and convincing evidence to deprive you of your constitutional rights in any proceeding. We're also going to make college tuition no cost by taking the funding for the student loans and only giving them money if they make tuition no cost. Because students are working. They work 40 to 60, 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week. They should not graduate in debt so that you can make some other dude rich. Because the people have a misconception that everybody graduates from college and everybody gets rich. It's not true. Some people, like me, didn't make any money off of it. Why do you think I'm doing news? I mean, for real, out of every goddamn job I could have picked, I picked the one that paid the least money. Why? Because it's goddamn fake news. We can't have this. We can't be having these closed source voting machines. We need open source voting machines, which is why I started the Freedom Government to provide you with open source voting machines. And you should volunteer on GitHub at the Freedom Government. You could also donate to the Freedom Cookbook, contribute knowledge. What am I talking about? My presidential campaign. Yeah, vote for Kale McCullough in 2024 and smash that goddamn like button. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications. Or drop that comment. Tell me whether or not your mom is single. Whether or not I can bang your mom. Tell me what you think about Liz Cheney down below. From Breitbart News, imported energy crisis sees wood-burning stoves and dry firewood sell out in Germany. They tried to go green, but all that happened was they sunk like a submarine. And now they can't even bring in enough dark age, stone age technology in order to meet their energy needs because they outsourced their fossil fuels to Vladimir Putin up the butt. Because, you know, they needed that fossil fuel so bad. They're willing to prop up Vladimir Putin up the butt. I mean, you do have to admit, it's pretty funny. How those windmills treating you, Germany? I live in Oregon, where we have so much wood that we just like can get free wood. If you pay a permit to the state, you can go and just get a chainsaw and just go. So I'm sitting over here like, just laughing. How's them windmills treating you, Germany? Yeah. You need another solar panel? How about an Elon Musk battery? But, you know, we saw this coming. We told you it was going to happen like that. Now that it actually happened, now we have to foot the bill. But it is one hell of a laugh. You proved everything that we said right. You proved that the media is a bunch of bullshit run by a bunch of pathological liar grifters who will rob you blind in a heartbeat to get a small amount of money from the Chinese Communist Party. Like the amount of bribe money that these people take to sell us out, like China Joe Biden did when he took all those 10% for the big guy from the Chinese Communist Party, the chief spy of China. It's like they're selling it for peanuts. I mean, come on, man. A standard business shits out that much money. I mean, all you got to give some of these dudes is like $5,000 in on a campaign and they sell you out to China. I say, personally, we got to start trying them for treason, locking them up. Then maybe next time they'll think before they so shitty. Then we won't be in this mess. But hey, don't forget to smash the like button down below, baby. Ring that bell so that you get notified of breaking news. Hit the subscribe button and drop a comment down below. How hot is your mom? Is she single? And can I bang her? What do we want to... Hold on. I got to do this. From Breitbart News, Scottish government workers told... Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Here, let me do that over again. All right. What was that for? All right, it should work now. Sorry about that. It's there's a lot of scenes here. They get messed up. From Breitbart News, Scottish workers, government workers have been told that biological sex is a falsehood invented to reinforce white supremacy. You heard that right. If you reproduce, if you don't chop your dick off, or snip your balls, you can't have no babies. You're a white supremacist, right? Don't forget about the Muslims with the 5.5 birth per woman rate. Now, if you have more than 2.1 kids, you are a white supremacist, far-right, alt-right, white nationalist, patriarch, extremist, who has been oppressing the Democrats' voter base. So, you need to snip your testes so you don't got no kids, so you beta! And if you don't, you're racist. Because you can't be having none of these white babies around here. You're too racist now. Because, you know, you got to take out the sins of the parents on the children. Because the parents had the wrong skin color. They were the wrong race. They were the disfavored race by the Democrats. This means your babies ain't going to exist because you're racist. You are a white supreme pizza, all-right extremist. You are the reason why the black kids in the ghetto get bad grades. If you didn't get such good grades, The black kids in the ghetto would get better grades. Math is racist. This is white supremacy. 2 plus 2 is 5. If you disagree, you're racist, you're gone. You're a white supremacist. 1 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 5. Math is racist. And the weaker and more beta these people get, the crazier this gender ideology gets. It's almost like they know they're not fit for reproduction, right? Like the woman with the biology is not destiny sign. Yeah. You need to stop having babies because the world needs more people like them. If you have more babies, there's going to be a smaller percentage of them, and there's going to be a higher percentage of you. So that means you're an existential threat. They cannot have as high a percentage of fat, nasty, mentally ill people and crazy Antifa lunatics if you people keep having babies. No. Your kids need to be trans, chop their dicks and their tits off so that you can have more Democrat voters, right? Because the more people you got on food stamps, the more people going to be voting for the Democrats. Whatever you've been told your whole life about the birds and the bees, about men have a penis and women have a vagina, no. Women have whatever goddamn genitalia they tell you they're going to have. And if you don't like it, you're a transphobe. You're a bigot. You're far right, alt-right, white nationalist, patriarch, extremist. White man. So, you got to do the right thing. You got to cuck out. You got to be a beta. You got to let the public school indoctrinate your children into radical LGBTQ, LMNOP politics. Because if you don't have a transgender child, you're not going to be popular. You're going to be up there with all the white supremacists. And they're going to boot you out because you're heteronormative. You're one of those people with the high birth rate that's taken over. Right? So you can't have that many babies because you're white. So what do you got to do? Trans. Because your kids are going to be way better off when the public school teachers are convincing them to take hormone blockers. Because what you need as somebody with only one child, you need your only child to be gay. Why? It's equality, bro. If your kid isn't gay, well, that's homophobic. Your kid needs to be a leftist. Your kid needs to hate white people, needs to think that colonialism was bad, that there's a patriarchy, a big bad white supreme leads all right extremists, and that there's a threat that these conservatives who having so many babies are going to take over. So, anybody who opposes you, you got to target them because they are a threat to the Democrats being in control. If you don't say anything, they get to do whatever they want. Your kid is going to be gay or trans because the teacher wants them to be that way. Not because you want them to have babies so you can have grandkids. No. So some wingnut feminist chick with the Black Lives Matter and an LGBT flag up in the classroom can indoctrinate your kids to hating white people, hating Christians, and hating white males. That's the first step. They do it during Black History Month. The whole month, these wingnut teachers at the public school talk about how bad white people are. All the bad stuff they did, all the people in the 60s, they do it for a whole month. They don't teach no math because it's racist. You know what they teach? Gender ideology. They teach your kids how to masturbate, have anal sex. Because if you don't, you're homophobe. When you don't want your kids learning about radical gender ideologies at public school, you're a transphobe. You're a bigot. We got to get rid of you, bro. But it's not the kids who are the bigots. No, it's the parents who are the bigots. It's people like me. I'm the big bad conservative wolf coming to huff and puff and post. I'm the heteronormative guy. I'm the extremist. I'm coming for your voting rights next, woman. Yep, coming for them abortion pills. I'm coming for your paycheck, baby. I'm gonna be locking you up, putting your dick in you, making you have babies. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to laugh at my own jokes. You know, a minute after that one. All right. How much have we talked about these lunatics recently? I mean, it's like they gobbling up the airways. They sucking all the oxygen out of the room. You know, you ain't heard shit about these guys. What about Ray Epps? Huh? What about this guy? Why didn't they charge him for starting the January 6th riot? Right. No, he's not an insurrectionist. No. No, you know who is the insurrectionist? Trump supporters. Not Ray Epps. Ray Epps is not an insurrectionist. No, no, no. No, he didn't break any laws. He didn't tell anybody to go into the Capitol. No, no, no. You're just imagining things. Epstein is not real. There's no pedophile sex trafficking network that is in control of the Democrats. It's all your imagination. Because you're a crazy, alt-right, white nationalist, far-right, extremist, conspiracy theorist threat. You are the number one threat to America is white supremacy. Never mind the birth rate, or the crime rate, or the public school teachers trying to convince your kids to chop their dick off. No, you need to pay attention to the big bad boogeyman. Because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for your voting rights, woman. I'm coming for your abortion pills. Yup, I'm going to be putting a burqa on you next. And it seems like, man, the most wingnut ones are the European libs. It's like, I mean, in America, the libs they're pretty crazy. But it's like we're like the ones who are ahead. And then the other people copy us. So the crazy shit starts here, and it's not that crazy. And then by the time it gets over to Europe, and then it comes back, and then it goes back to Europe, it's like a boom, I'm crazy. Just keeps coming back, bro. If you're not careful, just go wham! Knock your ass out. Boomerang a cray, baby. Hey, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications, baby, because you don't want to miss none of this shit. And tell your mom, I'm still single. All right, here, let me check the, gotta check to see if it's not messed up real quick. All right, good to go. I don't want to start doing the article and then have the thing mess up on me. Pretty soon, these glitches will be over. There's hundreds of scenes, and I'm dealing with like every change takes like days. So I'm just hammering out the last little bit of changes, and then we'll have a smooth show coming up here pretty soon. All right, guess we got the mic. From Breitbart News, Texas Democrat Sheriff law enforcement leaders are completely absent from Washington on the border. They got the southern border open because you know those Democrats like the drugs. They need the Latinos to replace the Democrats with the low birth rate, because if they did not, they would not be able to win elections. Because their ideas, sorry about that, their ideas are so bad. The only way they can get anyone to vote for their failed policies is if they bring in illegal immigrants and give them food stamps and welfare and tell them the Republicans are white supremacists and you need to vote blue no matter who. It really is that pathetic. And you got to call them out as what it is. It's absolutely pathetic. It's as pathetic as it gets. I mean, it's more pathetic than my sex life. And that's pretty pathetic. Like all these white liberals, they think that the Republicans are white supreme pizza, all right, extremists, because they want to build a wall 50 feet tall. And you look into it, and it turns out almost all of the countries have very strict immigration policies, and they kick illegal immigrants out. And the only people who are stupid enough to have open borders are these idiot white liberals who think they're going to get votes out of it. It is what it is. It isn't what it isn't. The southern border is open for one reason and one reason open only, and it's not to be compassionate to illegal immigrants, because 1/3 of migrant women get raped on their way up. Cartels are mass murdering people, over 50 a day. Migrants are getting trapped in semi-trucks and dying 50 at a time. We've got fentanyl, meth, crack flooding our streets. We got homeless people banging dope in tents on a sidewalk and taking shits all over the city. But the Democrats don't care. They don't care if your children are gangbanging, selling drugs, banging dope, fucking crazy white bitches. All they want is power. They just want to get access to the Latinos' children so that they can give them food stamps and welfare and trick them into thinking Republicans are racist. Because that's the only way they can get anyone to vote for their idiot policies. Their policies are, white people have low birth rate, so we're going to make them turn into a minority faster by opening up the borders, flooding the country with cartel members who are selling fentanyl, crack, and meth to our children. And to have more people on food stamps and welfare. Because, you know, the best way to possibly run a city is by replacing your own population with Mexicans and getting everybody strung out on cartel dope. Genius plan, you guys. This is genius. I mean, I've never seen so many people bang heroin in my entire life. All you got to do, go downtown Portland, and you will see a bunch of crazy, weird-looking people banging cartel dope in tents downtown. I mean, I feel like I'm going to get mugged when I'm walking from Union Station to Portland State University, you know? And like, I got like computers on me and shit, and I'm like, you're walking down the street and you got some like crackhead black dude with like a bunch of cornrows, and he's got like stuff coming out of his pockets, and he's like walking by and like, you walk by and there's like a fucking crazy skinny anarchist dude banging heroin. You're like, damn, dude. Walk around the street, there's some dude taking a shit on the sidewalk. Why you gotta take a shit on the sidewalk, man? But it's because they were on too much dope, so they just unloaded right there, just took a load, boosh. But who cares? Because the Latinos vote for Democrats, right? Who needs to have what babies when you can import in illegal immigrants to sell your kids heroin? Why on earth would you need to send your kids to school when instead you can have them sell narcotics from the cartel, right? I mean, who on earth needs a big family when you got fentanyl, right? But that's the entire goal. The entire goal is to reduce the conservative birth rate down as low as the Democrats, because if you do not stop these alpha male Christians from making so many Christian babies, they're going to take over. You're going to have more white males, which means that you're going to have less diversity, which means you'll have less inclusion and less equity. So what do you got to do? What's the solution? You get rid of the white dudes. Because they racist, they sexist, they homophobic, they transphobic, they don't like Mexicans. They gonna take your voting rights. They gonna make you have babies. You're gonna be wearing a burqa if you don't vote for Biden. Burqa's for Biden, baby! Because you know, the number one thing that this country needs is more people on food stamps and welfare and Obamacare. Because you know what we need whenever we got $30 trillion in government debt? We need millions of poor Mexicans and Haitians flooding in, using up our social services, and jacking up our rent and our health bills. Because, you know, it's freaking genius, man. It's the best idea I ever heard. This is the solution to the low birth rate, bro. All you gotta do is stop having babies and bring in a bunch of Mexicans. Who needs kids when you got heroin, right? Hey, if you like this content, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Oops. And oops. And gosh. Thank you for tuning in to RSS commentary on what is now Saturday, July 9th, 2020. But this was the July 4th show. I'm just having some technical difficulties. We will not have these difficulties in the future, I promise. We will keep the laughs coming, keep the insane leftist shit coming, and in the future, we'll have more videos to show you. Right now, it's just me, and it's overwhelming. But as I say every time, farewell, sayonara, aloha, au revoir. Peace be with you. Godspeed, and let this all flow.